You may have heard of the term economic climate before, but wondered what exactly is the economy and how does its climate impact businesses? Well, believe it or not, you are part of your country's economy and play a pivotal role in its economic climate. In business, what's happening in the economy really matters. It impacts how much money consumers like yourself and businesses have available to spend, as well as how many people are available to work. In simple terms, the economic climate relates to the performance of the economy. It's a measure which can be used to aid the government, businesses, and consumers to make better decisions. For example, if the UK entered a recession, the economic climate could be described as negative. When the economic climate is negative, the country is likely to experience higher rates of unemployment, lower wages and incomes, alongside lost opportunities more generally. This is not good for the average person and business, as people won't have as much financial security and therefore, as a result, will limit their spending, which impacts the profitability of businesses. In turn, businesses will then have to cut costs, which often leads to reducing the workforce, leading to higher rates of unemployment and even less money to spend in the economy. It's a very vicious circle. This is where the government tries to step in with its strategies to boost the economy, save jobs and increase consumer spending. In relation to the economic climate, there are 6 key ways in which it can impact businesses. These are unemployment, changing levels of consumer income, inflation, changes in interest rates, government taxation, and changes in exchange rates. Let's take a look at each one of these with some supporting examples. First up, it's unemployment. The rate of unemployment is based on the amount of people who are of working age and able to work but are not currently working. At its highest, just under 12% of people were classed as unemployed in the UK back in 1984. And when the rate of unemployment is high, it means that the economy is not making the most of the people who are available to work, which negatively impacts household incomes, decreases consumer spending, and slows down the economy. But unemployment has been as low as 3.4% in the past, and when the rate of unemployment is low, this also impacts businesses, because less people are available for work, which makes it harder to attract new employees and retain current employees. Essentially, the job market becomes very competitive, and businesses typically need to increase wages and other perks to attract and retain the best employees possible. On the plus side, more people are in work, meaning they have greater financial security and more money to spend on the products and services that businesses offer, which helps to boost the economy. Next up, it's changing levels of consumer income. Consumer income refers to the amount of money that people receive from working or from any investments they have made. Put simply, the higher the level of consumer income, the more financial security they are likely to have, which leads to increased consumer confidence and spending. This is good news for most businesses, especially those who produce and sell premium products or provide premium services, because customers have increased confidence in their personal finances and are likely to purchase higher quality goods at a higher price, or even just upgrade their existing products because they can afford to. But when levels of consumer income are low, consumer confidence drops, as they have less financial security, which impacts the buyer behaviour of most consumers as they look to cut back on the amount they purchase and will often look for cheaper alternatives. For example, when consumer income is low, discount retailers such as Primark and Aldi often see sales increase as customers switch from more high-end competitors to save money. We now move on to inflation, which is a term used to describe the increase of prices over time and can have a serious impact on businesses. It is measured using an index, with the Consumer Prices Index being one of the most common measures used. The Consumer Prices Index works by measuring how the price of a common collection of consumer goods changes over a set period of time and is represented as a percentage. For example, in 2022, inflation rose by 7% in the 12 months to March, which is the fastest for 30 years, and according to the Office for National Statistics, the largest contributors to this growing inflation were increased fuel prices and energy bills. This 7% rate of inflation means that the price of the average good or service has increased by 7%. For example, if a product was £1 last year, it would now be £1.07. Unless income rises at the same rate, inflation will negatively impact the purchasing power of money. This is because consumers now need more money on average to purchase the same products and services. Rising inflation can have a negative impact on the profitability of businesses, as overall consumer spending is likely to decrease, whilst at the same time, employees may be asking for a pay rise to help with the increased cost of living. In addition, if inflation is higher in the UK than it is in other countries, the cost of UK goods becomes comparably more expensive, which can lead to a fall in demand for the goods of UK businesses that operate on a global scale. Up next, it's changes in interest rates. The base rate of interest is set by the Bank of England and is used by all other banks and lenders in the UK. Put simply, interest is the amount of money that a person or business is charged for borrowing or the amount of money that is paid for saving. It is usually represented as a percentage. For example, if the interest rate was 5%, for every £1 that is borrowed, 5p will be charged, and for every £1 that is saved, 5p will be paid. When interest rates are high, consumers are encouraged to save their money and are less likely to borrow, which leads to lower consumer spending overall, with the opposite being true for low rates of interest. Government taxation is another key factor. In order to spend money to pay for public services and support individuals and businesses, the government either has to borrow money or raise it from taxes. Tax is charged on personal income, business profits, and the costs of consumer goods through a wide range of taxes which are implemented by the government. These include income tax, national insurance, VAT, corporation tax, and council tax. Government taxation impacts businesses in a number of ways. Essentially, the higher the taxation on consumers, the lower their spending power, which results in lower sales and businesses needing to reduce their costs and potentially halt any investment plans. The government can also use taxation to boost business. For example, in the past during tough economic climates, they have lowered the VAT charged on products and services. This strategy effectively reduces the price that consumers pay, which boosts sales without impacting the profit margins of businesses. Last up, it's changes in exchange rates. The exchange rate is a measure used to express the value of one currency against another currency. For example, the exchange rate between the British pound and the euro is currently £1 to €1.18, but any significant changes to this exchange rate could impact the costs and profits of the businesses involved in these overseas transactions. In today's global business world, UK businesses often trade and operate with lots of different stakeholders who use a variety of currencies all around the world, so it is crucial that exchange rates are constantly monitored and factored into any business decisions or agreements. If, for example, a UK business buys its supplies, such as raw materials from a supplier which is based in another country, or exports its goods to customers in another country, the exchange rate will determine the costs and profitability of these transactions. So that's it, a quick introduction to the economic climate and the key ways it can impact businesses. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to smash the like button and remember to subscribe to Two Teachers YouTube channel if you aren't already to see lots more business videos just like this.